Hey everybody, and welcome to Early Access Podcast, episode 97. I'm your host, Angelo, as usual, and happy birthday to me. Well, actually, happy birthday to the show. Today is to the day, exactly 1 year since I started Early Access Podcast, and it's been one hell of a ride. It's just been crazy since I started. The support from the indie community has been great. Although, I've noticed over the last probably 6 months or so, early access games in general have kind of waned in popping up on Steam. Case in point, today there was literally one new early access game popped up on Steam today, and it's not even something that I really think is worth talking about. Like, that's how bad it is. I don't know why this is already running. Yeah, there's just nothing since the last episode. Even before the last episode, the 5th, I checked all the way back for about a week. And, just nothing's new. I'm sure I might have missed something, but not like when I first started. When I first started, I was getting too many. That's why I went to 2 episodes a day. Going forward, though, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the show to just Sundays and just stick to a longer format. Now that I'm hosting on Libsyn, the shows can go a little bit longer. I don't have to worry about trying to keep them shorter because of the upload limit before to the website. Now I don't really have an upload limit, so I can go a little bit long if I want to. Plus, I recorded the videos too and upload those to the YouTube channel, so it's not really that big of a deal with the length of the show. So, starting after this show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording on probably Saturday nights, and then I'll put up the shows on Sunday. This way, like I said, so the episodes can be a little bit longer. I can get a little bit more into detail about stuff. I don't feel like I'm rushing through the new stuff, especially with how few new games come out. It'll just allow me to talk about the stuff that I've played a little bit better than I currently can. So, with that said, some of the episodes may still be short, though. It really has to do with what contents come out, what I was able to play, etc., etc. I did get a chance to play a early access game, a game preview game, and that game is Ark Survival Evolved. Now, if you've been following along with the show since I started, if you go look, you will see that I did indeed already play this game. I played Ark on the PC a while back, but the optimization on the PC is really, really poor, almost unplayable. So I never really got to enjoy that game. I played a few hours of it, enough to level up a little bit, pick out, start building a base and all that stuff. It's a survival, open world survival game, first person, that kind of game, just with dinosaurs. That's the big hook in this one. So the other day I was bored. I was looking for something to give a shot to, and I downloaded the trial on Xbox to see what the progress is over there as far as frame rate, because I recently saw that they did some stuff to fix the frame rate on the Xbox. So I figured it was a good time to give it a shot, and it actually runs fairly well. It still has some frame rate issues, nothing too bad, but it runs really well on the Xbox, which is surprising considering how poorly it runs on the PC. So they're working out a lot of those bugs. So I downloaded the trial. It gives you 60 minutes if you want to, check out the game in the preview program. So 60 minutes isn't a lot, though, especially in a game like this. I feel like in 60 minutes, if you don't have any idea of what you're doing, you could probably waste that 60 minutes and never actually do anything. It doesn't do a good job of teaching you the buttons and stuff like that, what everything does. You have to go check the options to figure all that stuff out. Luckily, I had a good idea of how to start building stuff and everything from having played it already. So that was pretty simple to get into. You just run around, pick up some rocks, hit stuff with your fists to get the base materials, try to level up a couple times, and then you spend those points to unlock different buildable stuff, which is the one thing that separates Ark from other games, so other survival games. The cool thing is that Ark has a progression system. So as you play Ark and as you mine for stuff and cut down trees and pick up rocks and kill dinosaurs for food, you actually do gain experience and level up. And as you level up, you get points that you can use to unlock different crafting recipes, and those are persistent throughout your time on that server. I think it's on that server. It might be on that character that you make, which adds a nice little layer to this kind of game, because if you do die, you don't have to you don't start from zero per se. You still have all your ability to craft the stuff that you've unlocked. So you do have to run around and recollect all the items, like all the materials you need to build those things, but it does allow you to feel like you're actually accomplishing something even if you do die. They also have a better spawning system than some other survival games. So there's like a list of spawn points that you have that allows you to pick a generalized location on the map of where you're going to spawn in at. So if you build your base in a specific spawn location, you know that when you respawn, you can select that location, and it's going to drop you somewhere in the vicinity of where you built your base. It's not going to be next to it. It's not going to be at your front door. However, it does put you in a good location. So once you learn that section of the map, if you ever happen to die, it does allow you to drop yourself into that spawn location that's relatively close to your base, which is a cool way to do it. So it still has really no direction. It's hard to get into if you have never played one of these kinds of games before. I'm actually kind of curious what this game's going to be like when it actually gets fully released on the Xbox. I want to see how the general public takes these kind of games. Just like with H1Z1 coming out soon. I'm curious how the more mainstream console players, and I know people we like to divide the two as if they're different, but they are. Generally the PC gamers are far more hardcore with the games they like to play, and there's a bigger market for these kind of niche games. That's why games like Rust and DayZ are so popular over here. It's because they're very hard games to grasp. There's a lot of buttons to use, especially in a game like DayZ. So there's a lot of controls, and it really comes down to like how somebody using a controller is going to be able to translate all those menus and how the menu navigation works and all that to a controller. So in this, it does an okay job. It's not great. They streamlined it the best they could using radial menus and hotkeys, and the D-pad is like basically your hot bar, and if you hold in the left bumper, it gives you an additional several slots. So basically, you hold in the left bumper, and it allows you to hit buttons, and it acts as like basically like a shift key. So gives all the buttons basically double function, which is nice, but it's going to be a steep learning curve for somebody that's not used to that kind of stuff, because it's not the most intuitive system. So I am curious, though, how this kind of stuff is going to go over on the consoles. Just the open world survival games in general, these persistent world, very hardcore games, because a lot of games that are like this, people tend to complain about. I mean, if you look at the Division, which I'm going to talk about next, the Dark Zone, you only lose the stuff that you can find in the Dark Zone while you're in the Dark Zone, and people have a problem with that already. And it's only was a closed beta, and people were complaining like, oh, I ran around and got all this loot and then I lost it all, and people were complaining about that. So I can't imagine how they're gonna feel, how people are gonna feel about a game like this or H1Z1, where you literally lose everything that you have on you and you have to start from scratch. So it's going to be an interesting thing to watch over the next few months as this and H1Z1 hit a larger market with the console games. It's going to be that group of gamers. It's going to be cool to watch. I'm sure it's going to be pretty negative, just my opinion. But yeah, I think Ark on the Xbox is really nice. It's not without its problems or anything like that, but if you're looking for that kind of experience on a console, It's the only one, so you should totally check it out. Also, let me see if it's coming up on here already. Flame in the Flood. So I played Flame in the Flood not too long ago, and it's not showing up here yet. Let me see if I can Google it. Flame in the Flood Xbox. So I just read about this. This article's on IGN. This is just the little placeholder for it. Here you go. 14 hours ago on Polygon. Yeah, I did. Okay, I thought I just read this. So, Flame in the Flood is another survival game. It's a single-player survival game. It's not one of those. Go to the YouTube channel, Early Access Podcast on YouTube. I did do a video of this, a quick look on the PC. I played it not too long ago. So this is a roguelike survival game. It's more roguelite than survival. This actually says roguelike, which I like because that's what I thought of it. The GameSpot article on Facebook that I read earlier called it a survival game, which it's really not. It's more of a roguelite. You're traveling down a river on a boat, stopping off at these different points, trying to learn your way to get to the end, basically. You get better as you play. You get more acquainted with the different mechanics and how to avoid and fight different enemies, and how you do craft. There's crafting and all that stuff too. So it's a kind of a little hybrid thing. It's got a great art style. It's a really fun game. Let's see. It's made by the alumni from Irrational Games, so you're gonna feel that in the art style of this game. And yeah, so it's gonna come out on PC, Mac, and Xbox One on February 24th. So in about 2 weeks. But yeah, definitely go check it out. Like I said, if you go look at the YouTube channel, you can see some footage from a couple months ago when I got my hands on it for the first time over there. But that's it for not first person-y, but for these survival games. The next thing I want to hit on is the announcement yesterday. Well, it was like yesterday morning about the Division open beta. So they said that there was going to be an open beta. They didn't have a specific date for the Division. They were like, it's coming. It'll be sometime before the launch. Well, they announced yesterday that it's going to go live on the 18th of February. So a little more than 2 weeks here. I'm sorry, about 8 days. About 8 days. The game does come out in March 8th, actually. So February 18th is going to be the day that you can download it for Xbox One. They get a 1-day head start on the open beta, and then 19th for PS4 and PC. If you didn't play in the Division beta, the closed beta that was a week ago, it's basically going to be the same thing. So you're going to start at level 4. You're going to be able to cap out at level 8. You're going to be able to cap out at level 12 in the Dark Zone, because they're two separate levels. And they're adding an additional mission. So in the closed beta, it was one mission to start off the medic tree, or I guess it's like the hospital wing of your base. And then this one is going to be for the tech wing of your base. So you're going to go get the guy that's going to run the tech wing of your base. And basically what those wings do is they unlock different abilities for your character as you progress through the wings. So that's all that this is really adding. It's adding a new mission that you can play. There is a list of different bug fixes and whatnot, different things that they added to the closed beta. They fixed some of the bugs. They fixed the ability to run off the map and respawn into the spawn areas, like the zone in areas. So you can't cheese it anymore. So if you go rogue, you can't just kill a bunch of guys and then run off the map and then teleport back into the safe zone and just hang out until your timer runs down. So they fixed that. They're also going to be adding some new high-end weapons, which are the legendary equivalent for other RPG-style games. So you're going to be able to mess around with a couple different versions of those guns, the high-end guns. And I'm super excited to check out more of this game. I highly recommend checking it out. It's doing a lot of really interesting things, and since it's an open beta, definitely go download it, give it a shot, and make sure to give it a fair shot. Do the 2 missions, and then go into the dark zone with an open mind, and try to enjoy it for what it is. It's like this weird hybrid PvP, PvE thing. Get your friends to play. If you don't have any friends, just run around and yell at people and try to get them to join your group, and try to team up with people. The biggest thing with this game is it's going to be really a 4-player co-op experience for the most part. I feel like the more often you're in a group of 4 people, the more fun you're going to have with the Division. I know people want first-person experiences, but every game doesn't have to be. And this in particular is more of a 4-player co-op experience in this open world shell. Yeah, I'm super excited. A lot of my friends are getting it, so I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time with this once it comes out, and I'm going to try to get another video up. If you're interested in seeing what the beta looked like, I did give a rundown video on the YouTube channel. It's about 20 minutes long, I think, and yeah, I just do some stuff. I explain some of the Dark Zone stuff, and kill some guys, show off the rogue stuff, broke down the glitch that was happening that you could do, but that has since been fixed, so you can check that out over there. Alright, the other game that I didn't play this yet, I literally just downloaded it though, because I had just gotten the email for it, and it's a game called Atlas Reactor. Now this is from Glyph, which is, well, not Glyph, it's Tryon Worlds, and it's
too easy.
Let me mute this real quick. It's a cel-shaded style, kind of looks like Borderlands. Like it looks like they're trying to bite off of Overwatch, in my opinion. Let me mute this real quick. So it looks like a MOBA. So it's a turn-based multiplayer game, but it says without the waiting around. I don't know what that means. It looks pretty interesting though. It's like something unique. I've never seen anything like it. But like I said, the art style is very Borderlands. It's like a cel-shaded, cartoony style. It does look cool. I did just download the alpha for it. They sent me 6 keys though, so 1 for me, and I have 5 more to dole out. So if you're interested in a copy of this game on beta, I'm gonna give away keys. Just tweet at me, hashtag Atlas Reactor, so at earlyaccesspodcast with the hashtag at Atlas Reactor, and then I will just give out the keys to 5 random people throughout the next couple days until the next episode of the podcast. So yeah, go check that out. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. For the time being, I did just bring back up the websites. I'm not going to be adding anything to them. I brought them back up just so I can move everything to the podcast site and redo everything and try to get it to link to Libsyn. So don't be disappointed if there's not too much new content. But you can still, for the time being, go click through the Amazon banner over there. Bookmark it, so in case it's not on the website anymore. It'll definitely help out the show. Use that whenever you buy anything. Tell your friends. You know, that little bit does really help out. That's another reason that the websites came down, because stuff's expensive to like host and manage and everything. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, earlyaccesspc. I'm always giving stuff away. If you're interested in setting up an interview to talk about your game, or if you have a copy of a game that you'd like to get in touch with me with, earlyaccesspodcast@gmail.com. That's the best way to get in touch with me on the show, because the other emails are linked to the websites, and with the inconsistency lately of whether or not I'm going to be keeping them up and how that's going to be happening, I'd rather just forward everything over to this new email address just so I know I have access to it at all times. But yeah, that's going to do it. Happy 1 year. I'm excited to see where the rest of this year takes me. Hopefully double or triple the listener base. So tell a friend, talk about it, tweet the show, like the YouTube channel, and all that jazz. But until next time, guys, this is Angelo with Early Access Podcast, and be awesome. I hit myself in the head. Yeah, be awesome.